Morning, ladies. Hey, everyone. Happy Monday. Coming to you live this morning, and just wanted to spend about 10 minutes, no more. I'm going to be doing a series this whole week, and I'm going to break down a whole lot of makeup and skincare during this week, so I hope you're all on board. Today, I wanted to focus on the base face, okay? So I wanted to just start from the beginning of my base. I've already washed my face, did my rose water. So we're only doing foundation and base because everything that you do underneath your makeup is pretty much the most important thing to getting the results that you're looking for. So I also wanted to address the ladies over 50 or the mature ladies. So, I mean, whatever you feel, I feel like I'm mature. I have no problem saying I'm almost 53 in a few months. But I think that the makeup application is different for us. It's totally a whole different ballgame. So a lot of people that I speak with are just like, well, you know, I'm this age, I'm that age. I'll never look like the 20-year-old girls that are showing their foundation and all their makeup application and all these tutorials because they talk all about the flawless look, the flawless setting powder. And yes, that is the goal that we're trying to achieve. But at our age, as we get older, as the aging process starts, there's no denying that our skin changes, and and there's nothing we can do about it. So are we going to be immaculate and flawless as a beautiful 28-year-old model and Younique presenter? Maybe not. But we're going to get as close as we can come. Damn close. And that's what I try to do. Nothing's perfection. Not even the 27-year-old models are going to be perfection. So we're going to just do what we can do. And we have some tips, some do's and don'ts, and things that we can do to overcome things that maybe us mature ladies are really struggling with or working on. So that's what this is about. So it's going to be really quick. We only have a few products that I wanted to go, and we're not going to be trying them all on, but I am going to tell you about the color matching and the shades that I use for my foundation. So I think that's also really important to address. I think in the beginning, I didn't even realize that people use different color shades for different seasons. That took me forever to realize why it didn't always look right on me. So I get it now. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So if that's something you're interested in and want to hear more about, stick with us for the next few minutes. And I'm glad that you're here, and thank you so much for joining. We're live right now. If you're not seeing the illuminated live sign, then we're on the replay. Just as good. You'll see the whole thing. So please just let me know that you showed up for the replay. If you're here now watching me, say hi. Send me a heart or a like or a love and let me know that you're watching. Send me a comment if you want to put something in the comments that you are struggling with, even if it's after the live is over and you catch me on the replay. Let me know, some of you mature ladies, what it is that you worry most about or what you stress about or the issues you want to try to overcome. So maybe we can work on that together, okay? So we're going to start with primer, all right? My Touch Glorious Primer is my favorite, one of my favorite products because it really helps to put a coat over our skincare. So skincare is going to be later on in the week, but when I just do my cleanser and do all my products and wash my face and do my cleanser and do my rose water, I want to put a barrier in between that to keep it locked into my face and keep those products working to give me that tighter skin or the more neutral or not dry, not oily. That's all the skincare product work. That's all behind the scenes. So the primer is something that's really important to get on your face so that the makeup doesn't start interacting with the skincare in a negative way. And we want to keep that barrier. So we're going to put on this Glorious Touch primer. We're not going to be putting on a lot. And sometimes you want to put it certain areas more than another. So I know for me, I have my pores that I know that aren't completely that small, and they do show. So they're right around this area, right around this area. It's your, pretty basic. It's your T-zone, but I still put it all over my face, but it's not a lot. And it offers this, I wish you could feel it. It's a beautiful silky finish, and it just feels so wonderful on your skin that it's really important, and it's going to set into the fine lines and wrinkles. It's going to actually, so you don't have those little divots, it's not going to let the makeup and the foundation go inside the creaks and crevices and cracks in our skin. This primer is really going to do its job, and it's going to help alleviate that. Okay? So that's the primer. And they also, and no mistaking, I just want to let you know, we have two primers. One's a face primer and one's an eye primer. I'm not going to be putting on the eye primer right now because we're not doing eyes. That also is going to be later in the week. Like I said, we're going to be doing 10-minute videos all this week on different areas of the face. So I'm going to just let this face primer set in for a little bit. I usually let it sit for probably like 3 to 4 minutes. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about the different foundations that we have, okay? So we have Touch Liquid Foundation. This is something that's going to come on as a liquid, and it's going to dry to a powder, okay? So very important when you use it, you're going to shake it up. Actually, I was supposed to do this first. It's got a little dropper. So you want to take out everything that's in the dropper first when you go to pick it up, because this product settles. So you take it out of the dropper completely, hit it back up, and you're going to mix it so that you don't have, watery and clumpy product when you take it out of the dropper, okay? That one, I use 2 different shades. So we're going to be talking about the product and the shades. So from my winter color and my summer color, totally different, okay? It's really important to know what skin tone you are, okay? That's going to be part of the color matching process, and we can go into greater detail on another day, or if you have any comments or want to message me further about that, we can really talk. But I'm usually a neutral tone. So neutral tones are, if you don't really have, you hear a lot about if you have pink or red tones or yellow or olive tones, those are going to be your neutral, cool, and warm tones. So I pretty much stay in the neutral area because sometimes I have some redness, and if you have redness, that's going to be a cooler tone that you want to use as far as your coloring. Or if you have warm tones, which is more of a yellow to olive tone, that's going to be your warmer tones. So neutral is a mixture of both, okay? So if you're very red, if you have rosacea, if you have just very pink or redness to your face and your complexion, you're going to want to go with the cool tones. Again, if you have a darker complexion, you're going to go with and I don't mean just the color of your skin as far as your race. That has nothing, it's not really all that is involved in that. If you tan good, or if you just have, that yellow undertone or olive, which I do too, but I also can get redness in my skin. And again, that's part of the, it can be part of the mature skin as well, because it's a little rawer sometimes and it's different. So for my winter look, I use Eyelet, which is a cooler tone for me. It's a lot lighter. So when I don't have a tan, because in the summer, I love the water, I love the beach, I love to be in the sun, I'm a sun worshiper, so I really don't burn, but I tan really quickly and really fast, really quickly and really dark. Okay, so during that time, I want to use my warmer taffeta color. Okay, so in the summer, I'm using taffeta just to even out. I'm not using a lot of layers. It's not going to be a heavy coverage. It's just going to be to even out those spots. Sometimes I'll start peeling and then it'll be darker on one side in the peeling process. So I just use a thin coat of taffeta when I'm going out at night, or even during the day. It depends. but that's what I'm going to use. The taffeta for the summer, and then in the eyelet color, I'm going to use now when I haven't been exposed to this sun yet. So that's what we're going to use. Same with the BB Flawless. This is a cream. It's more of a dewy finish. It's not heavy coverage, but it is more moisturizing. So I tend to like this. I use this more. If I need extra coverage, I'll add a couple of drops of the liquid foundation to the BB cream. So that's what I do with this product. So these two that I use, again, my winter colors, that's going to be Bisque I use. And Honey I'm going to use in my sun tanning season, okay? So those are the two colors, Bisque, Honey, Taffeta, and Eyelet. As well, my concealers. Concealer is also very important. We're going to be using that under our eyes. And again, the mature ladies, I'm going to touch briefly on this today. We have to be very careful how we apply our concealer, because you have to also know your skin. If you have dark circles under your eyes, this is really important. But if you have crepey, more loose skin under your eyes, that's also going to be very important, and certain products will bring that out more and certain products will conceal it better. So you have to be careful. So with my concealer, again, with the summer and the winter, I'm going to use velour in my winter colors, for my winter color when I don't have a tan, and then I'm going to use organza when it's more summery. Okay, so it's a little darker shade than the velour, and I use it as a highlighter. Some people actually use it for concealer, so this is also a very important point. If you're using it for concealer and you have some blemishes, you're going to want to use the same color as your foundation, whether it's BB cream or whether it's liquid touch or whether it's anything else like that, a powder. We also have pressed powder, which I don't use too often for myself because I tend to not want to use the powder because of my mature skin. So again, there's different things that we could use. The cream and the powder don't work for me as much as the BB cream is my top one, and then the liquid foundation I add coverage to. So I tend to want more of the moisture in my skin. But again, if you're covering up some blemishes, you're going to want to use the same color. If you use it as a highlighter, like you would for your under your eyes, that's going to be theoretically two shades lighter than the foundation color. So it's going to brighten it up a little bit from the concealer, from the foundation. Okay, so I wanted to go through those three, and we're going to just take this for a couple more minutes. I'm going to just put this on really quick and show you just the application. The color was really important that I wanted to stress. So today I'm just going to be using my BB cream. All right, I'm going to mix that up in the bottle because, again, you don't want it to settle. I just put a little bit on the top of my wrist, on the top of my hand, and I'm going to blot my Beauty blending bud. I'm going to put some setting spray, Behold setting spray on it, just because it's going to help it to not move on my face. Okay, so I'm going to put it onto like this. Just going to dot it around. And again, this is the Bisque color. It's a lot lighter than the taffeta. So again, it's going to be basically what your complexion is and what time of year it is. I think that's really important to do. I used to not even pay attention to that. I used to hear people say that they used two different colors, but I always made it seem like they were blending two, which I do that also. So sometimes we have so many different colors, but even though with all the colors you may not have exactly the one that you feel fits best with your complexion. So you can mix them, okay? So this is, I have a mirror over here. It's hard without my glasses to see and get close. You'll be seeing my eyeballs. So I'm gonna get rid of all my little redness. I love the way the BB cream feels. So thank you all for hopping on. we're gonna just take this a couple more minutes because I really don't want it to do long videos for all these little tutorials. I know I had a long one the other day, but I'm gonna try to be on here much more consistent. I've laid out my whole week, so times and everything. So we're gonna get in here every day because I wanna work my business. And I think I mentioned in my last video, if you were able to catch it, I am working on going to the Bahamas in January of 2020. So I'm growing my business, I'm working my business, I'm getting rid of all my excuses and all the things, because you know what? We make time for the things we really want to make time for. I could say I'm busy till the end as the day is long. I got a lot of stuff going on, and that's true. But if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and I need to make that happen. So I'm going to work it, and I'm going to be consistent with it, and consistency is key. All right, I'm going to be using velour for the concealer. I don't have my concealer brush right here, so I'm going to use, just because you don't need a lot of it, I'm going to put a little on my brow artist brush, just because it's easier to dab on and have control over, and then I'll blend it in with my fingers. Okay, so we don't want to go all the way up to the bottom lash line, because that's when you're going to definitely find that it's going to go into that area of your fine lines and wrinkles. So I'll go into the corner, because that's always a little area that you want to brighten up. You want to come out like that. I don't go, sometimes I do, but I tend to realize that when a lot of people use that upside down triangle, I feel that that's not a look for me. It makes it too bright. And again, I'm really just worried about looking appropriate for my age. And, you know, I think everybody has to find their own particular comfort level. And so I'm going to just dab. So that little concealer brush, not concealer brush, I use my brow artist, because this one I use the angle side for my brows. This straight side I do use when I want to really just even out the application. When I'm putting the product on, then I'm lightly going to take my fingers and I'm just going to blend it in a little bit. And then I'm going to use my blending brush, my blending bud, just to show, to really get it set in there. Okay, so I moved it around. It's 2 shades darker, lighter than the eyelet. And this wet, it's still wet. I didn't have to add any more setting spray, but I'm just lightly touching it so it really soaks in there, and the moisture is gonna really lock it in. Okay, so I'm getting in the corner and I'm just dabbing. I'm not swiping, because we don't want to pull any more on our skin, the loose skin underneath our eyes. For us mature ladies, again, trying to focus in on that, because I think it's really imperative to treat our skin a little differently than we did 20, 30 years ago. So it's really important to acknowledge that we don't all have the same skin type. So that's what I did for the concealer. All right. I gotta make sure that I can see what I'm doing here. All right, and then lastly is the setting spray. Even before I put my makeup on, I put on a little bit of the setting spray, even though I put my setting spray on my blending bud. I just do a little spritz, and I don't want to make my shirt wet. Actually, you know what? And very light just to get it on. And you can also do a translucent powder. That's also something you want to be very careful with, is putting this powder on. You don't want to put too much. This is literally going to make that smooth finish to your eyes when you bake them in. It's called baking, but you don't want to put too much. So I use a brush. Your brushes are also very important too. These are foundation brushes, liquid foundation one. This is a great concealer brush that we can like buff this out with if you need to, you know, blend it in a little more. it's not an exact science. Everybody's different, so everybody's going to use the product differently. Be very mindful of that. I can't use it the same way everybody else does. So this is your translucent powder. It's magic in a bottle. I absolutely love this. We call this our Photoshop in a bottle. I call this, like, it's just ridiculous. Just Botox, taking all your fine lines out. It's just beautiful. It is, they say it's flawless, and it's flawless as best as it can be on me. So I'm gonna just knock off the excess, and I'm gonna go in very lightly. It's a translucent powder, and it's not going to let the product move from my face, okay? Some people put it on a lot heavier. That's for the baking. I feel that doesn't work for my skin, for my mature skin, or I've heard from too many other women, it doesn't help for that as much. But again, everyone's different. If someone does feel that it's working for them, great. I don't want to speak for all. I can only speak for myself, okay? So that's our base face. They had this great song a couple of years ago. Meghan Trainor, I loved it. That was actually one of my favorite songs back then. It's all about the base. So you could use that and interpret that in many different ways. But today we're talking about all about the base face underneath your makeup is what's going to help. So I'm going to go on off camera and I'm going to do the rest of my makeup so I can get out of here and go to work. And I hope you all enjoyed this video today. I hope it was short. Join me tomorrow and we'll do another part of the face, okay? Everybody, mature ladies, young ladies, over 50 ladies, thank you all for joining. If you like everything that you see, visit my website, www.lipstickloverqueen.com. And if you love this video, or even if you like it, or you just want to help out my business, if you would share this video onto your wall, I would appreciate the share. Thanks for joining. Bye. Have a great Monday.